Right now on Hoosier News Source, we'll tell you what IU has to say about the mumps outbreak on campus.
And find out more about an attempt to ban LGBTQ conversion therapy in Indiana.
And I have when to expect rain showers to return in your forecast for the rest of the week. Hoosier News Source starts now.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Hoosier News Source. I'm Courtney Sisk.
And I'm Amelia Miles. To start this week's show, our Sarah McCorkle joins us in studio with a look at the weather. Sarah?
Thanks, Courtney and Amelia. Before getting into this week's forecast, let's take a look at the climate report to see how the month of April has played out so far. We can see for that this time of year, the high is usually around 64 degrees. With temperatures being in the 70s the last few days, we have been seeing above average temperatures so far in April. Taking a look at precipitation, we've been receiving 3.94 inches thus far in April, and our monthly average is 4.49 inches, so we are on track to be above average for precipitation in April. And speaking of rain, we might be seeing more rain showers later this week. Taking a look at the map for Wednesday night and Thursday morning, we can see a low pressure system moving into our area, bringing with it the chance for showers. Nothing severe, but the chance for showers do prevail for Wednesday into Thursday morning. And luckily, this rain will not stick around for long as we take a look at the rest of the week. On Wednesday, beautiful day, 67 degrees, partly sunny. On Thursday, those chance for showers do return. And then on Friday, we see a high of 68, mostly sunny. And then as we head into the beginning of next week, beautiful temperatures, 74 degrees and 72 degrees. And then for the last time ever, that's weather for this week. Thank you, Hoosier News Source, for the opportunity to share the Bloomington forecast every week. It has been my pleasure forecasting the weather for IU students for the last 2 years. I am sad to leave, but I know the weekly forecast is in good hands with Caroline and Zoe. Back to you, Courtney and Amelia.
Thank you, Sarah. It's been great to have you. We start our news with the story of morals and the differences that come with them. I spoke with State Senator Mark Stoops and Christian Ministry Director Alex McNeely to hear these differences.
A controversy, a discussion, a different idea of morals. It's conversion therapy for LGBTQ minors in Indiana, and it's something State Senator Mark Stoops previously filed a bill to ban.
I think we need to recognize that people have these feelings, and you can't, if you try to single them out, especially with children, separate them, then they're going to have difficulties.
Conversion therapy is the science of trying to change someone's sexual orientation to heterosexual using spiritual and psychological interventions. It is banned in 16 states, but in Indiana it's conservative and religious, so the bill so far sits here.
The belief that being homosexual is a sin is something a local Christian ministry director attributes to the Bible.
Sinners be called to repentance, which means turning away from sin, away from a life of sin over to living a life of obedience to God instead of a sinful life. And that would include homosexual sin.
And transgender youth are 5 times more likely to attempt suicide, according to a special report in the New Atlantis. And those that identify as gay or lesbian are at a higher risk for depression.
That causes feelings within the child of, feeling like they're singled out, or they're already probably bullied at school. They probably already had thoughts of suicide.
You're putting them more at risk of suicide, of psychological damage, of depression, of anxiety disorders by encouraging them to go this direction away from living in accordance with their biological sex.
Both ideals come down to this different idea of morals and how we should or should not intervene. For Hoosier News Source, I'm Courtney Sisk.
Neither McNeely or Stoops say they know any practicing conversion therapists in the area.
20 cases of mumps on campus have been confirmed, but the IU Health Center believes that number will increase. IU issued a public safety advisory with instruction on how to contain the illness. The cases are confirmed in 1 IU fraternity and now 2 dorms on campus. Officials are making sure they alert the necessary people who may come in contact with the illness. During their campaign, Student Body President Isabel Mishkin and Vice President Matt Stein promised to host the town halls around the campus. On Friday night, the new IUSG executives held the first one of their term. The executive branch hosted the inaugural town hall in the Hammond Luger School. Michigan and Stein introduced themselves to students and explained roles of IUSG plays in the university. They also asked attendees to share their biggest concerns for the upcoming school year. Those concerns included mold, transportation, and food waste.
I really like that nothing was off of the table, so we could bring up whatever we wanted, as little or as big, and they were very willing to talk about it.
The executive branch hopes to host town halls once a month starting in the fall, all in different locations around campus. To stay up to date with the locations and times, follow student government on Twitter at IUSG.
Bloomington was named the greenest city in Indiana last month. The award, given by car insurance company Insurify, acknowledges the most eco-friendly community in each state based mostly on vehicle and driving habits. The Greenest City Award is based on air quality, space, and renewable energy programs. Insurify praised Bloomington for their limited parking spaces, public transportation systems, and walkability.
There are many bus routes in place, but there will be many more come next year. The first 32 proposed amendments to Bloomington's transportation plan aims to fix problems such as bigger street widths, better bike lanes, and improving street labels. Citizens affected by this can continue to submit proposals to their council members until noon on April 29th.
As undergrad commencement is just under 2 weeks away, we'd like to give a special recognition to all of our seniors at IUSTV that have made these last 4 years possible, and a look into their future plans as alumni of Indiana University.
Okay, my favorite moment is being in the control room. I started out as a reporter here, and I went from doing that, and then now I'm the news director, and being in there and being able to talk to everybody all at once has been such a great experience. And we have a lot of fun in there. Yeah. We have a good time. Post-grad, I just accepted a job, a reporting job in Rockford, Illinois at WIFR. I start May 20th. So I'm really excited, though. To the people who are going to continue this legacy, I have so much faith in them that they're going to do an incredible job. You guys rock. You've been through everything in this organization, from starting your freshman year, going through your sophomore year, and now they're going to be juniors and seniors, and they're going to do an incredible job. And I'm just going to say, enjoy every second of it, even the stressful parts, because those are the parts that you feel the proudest of at the end.
I don't know if I have a most memorable moment, but coming in and watching Amelia Miles every week was certainly a treat. After graduation, I will be moving to Chicago to pursue a career in videography and post-production. To the students who are carrying on our legacy at IUSTV, I would say to make the content that you want to make content that you're proud of. That's what it's all about. It's all for you.
My most memorable moment was probably when I produced, actually. And I did that a couple of weeks ago. But like, doing the producing and the directing kind of showed me what I wanted to do more so, because anchoring was great and it was fun. Like, the first time I anchored, I was really nervous and I was really like dorky, and I was like, like trying to make sure I said everything right. And then I got like more comfortable the more I did it, but the first time I produced, I was just like, oh, I love this a lot. I want to find a job. I don't have a job yet. We're 2 weeks out from graduation, so that's pretty scary. But I am really looking forward to relocating. I'm kind of thinking about down south just because the temperature is better, the weather is a lot better, and I just think for the first year, especially to not be tied down somewhere for the first time and able to move wherever to start a new life, I'm in love with that idea. So I want to just go kind of wherever my career takes me. But if you've watched, you have practiced, it's time to conquer. Get in there and do the dang thing. Like, make us proud. Learn as much as you can. Don't be timid. If you want to try something, this is a place to try it and really dive deep into it. Like, I did producing, I did anchoring, I was doing audio, I was doing teleprompter for a little minute. So anything and everything, just be open and just be ready. And also be ready for critique, because they give critiques and they're really good critiques.
My most memorable IUS TV moment was probably getting a producer position and being able to help with IUS TV and help continue the legacy that gave me so much and so many different opportunities. My after graduation plans are not finalized yet, but I am traveling. I'm backpacking through Southeast Asia, and then I plan on moving to New York to continue my career. And then any advice that I have for people wanting to join IUS TV or current IUS TVers, just get as involved as possible and make whatever you're doing into your own. Whether it's a package, whether you're producing a newscast, give it something that makes it your own so that you have something to show for your work.
Probably the first time I did the international segment, because that for me really was like a message to myself that I could do it, because this is what I want to do for a living. I want to be an international reporter. So I think maybe you wanted something a little bit more fun, but no, when I walked in that first time and I did it last semester, I was like, I will never forget this moment here, because this will be the first step to my career. I want to go to law school. I want to become a legal analyst for, I don't know, some international news outlets or just your favorite national news outlets. I want to break down stories that we cover in journalism but tend to skip the law on a lot. I want to bring you stories into your living room, your laptop, your phone every day, but I also want to tell you the legal ramifications of the stories I'm telling you. Don't be a slacker. I wasn't, so you can't be. There's only one way to do this thing that we do, and that's to give it everything. And if you give it even half of that, this isn't for you. Give it everything, and at the end of the day, you'll be as happy as I am, which is pretty happy.
My most memorable IUS TV moment was my very first broadcast. I was super nervous and I said nothing too crazy about the weather, and my family and friends, now it's just like a joke that we have. The weather's gonna be nothing too crazy. I'm going to the University of Wyoming to get my master's in atmospheric science. I would say for the students that are going to continue doing the weather is just remember to have fun with it, because it's a really cool opportunity that we get to share what we love, which is the weather, so just keep having fun with it.
So for me, the biggest, most memorable part of IUS TV was getting the producer and floor directing position that I was currently in. When I was in high school, like, all I thought about was just being an anchor. I wanted to do nothing else, no substitution, no nothing. So when I got into these roles, I decided, like, this is what I wanted to do, and I just never realized it because I kind of just shut the whole thing out. So that was really memorable for me, just knowing what I wanted to do now. I don't have anything right now. I know that I want to move really close to home, kind of be with my family. My first nephew's coming this summer, so I just want to be home for that. But I'll keep you guys updated as to what goes on. Open your eyes to all the opportunities. Don't throw a position away just because it's not what you thought you were going to do. Like, who knows? It may be, you know, what you wanted to do all along and just never knew. But you guys are going to do great. I have all of the faith in you that you guys are just going to rock it next year and the continuing years. So yeah, signing out.
My favorite IUS TV memory would have to be when I got the news of me getting the position to actually be the co-host for What's Up Weekly. I was always the person that was going to every meeting, picking up all the stories as possible, and just putting my heart and soul into this organization, and I did it. I became the co-host, and that was like the best thing like ever. Hopefully, ideal is to, you know, get with a small station, work my way up, and eventually move to LA or Chicago and pair up with a new media entertainment show or something like that, because I loved co-hosting for What's Up Weekly. It was amazing. You'll do great, because I know it was a pain working with me. We would have been done a half hour early, but Amelia just doesn't know how to read. Maybe dyslexic, haven't been tested, just don't know. But I truly love you all.
I love you all with all my heart, and I really cannot wait to see where IUS TV goes from here. I'm gonna miss you all.
Coming up, we tell you what's happening around the world with our Global Report.
And we introduce our new directors for next year. Stay with us. Welcome back. A lot is happening around the world. Hoosier News Source reporter Larmy Sanyon has our world news update. Larmy?
Thanks. A Colorado native is one of at least 2 Americans killed in Sunday's terror attacks in Sri Lanka. Dieter Kowalski was among more than 320 killed in Sunday's terror attacks in the country that left over 500 injured. The attacks involved coordinated explosions in at least 8 locations across Sri Lanka, including 3 churches and 4 high-end hotels. The Colorado native worked for the education publishing company Pearson. In a statement, Pearson CEO says Kowalski had just arrived at his hotel when he was killed in an explosion. Officials now say 24 people are under arrest so far, but Sri Lanka's president is calling for international help, saying terror groups could still be plotting more attacks. The Trump administration is cracking down on countries that import oil from Iran. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo announced Monday that starting May 2nd, the U.S. will no longer exempt any countries from sanctions for buying Iranian oil. The announcement comes nearly 1 year after President Trump announced the U.S. was withdrawing from the Iran nuclear deal. After the U.S. withdrew, an agreement was struck for certain countries to receive waivers for buying Iranian oil. Pompeo said the imports will remain at 0 until Iran stops a number of activities, including pursuing nuclear weapons, testing ballistic missiles, and sponsoring terrorism.
We will continue to enforce sanctions and monitor compliance. Any nation or entity interacting with Iran should do its diligence and err on the side of caution. The risks are simply not going to be worth the benefits.
The secretary also said the U.S. is working with oil-producing countries to ensure market stability. For about a week now, protesters have filled the streets of London over climate change. Protesters want the government to reduce greenhouse gas emissions to net 0 by 2025. On Monday, a group of activists from a climate change movement known as Extinction Rebellion took over parts of the Natural History Museum in London. Protesters have also been blocking intersections and chaining themselves to vehicles. One man even superglued himself to a train last week to stop commute. Police have arrested more than 1,000 activists so far. Now in Japan, the Fukushima soccer facility known as J Village has reopened over the weekend. That comes 8 years after it served as a relief facility during the 2011 tsunami and nuclear disaster. The tsunami killed almost 20,000 people and crippled the Fukushima #1 nuclear plant. At the time, J Village not only became the symbol of relief and construction efforts, it was also a training ground for the national women's soccer team that won the 2011 FIFA World Cup just 4 months after the disaster. This year, the team is using J Village to prepare for the upcoming World Cup in France. South Korea phone tech giant Samsung is delaying a release of its Galaxy Fold smartphone. The company says the device will not be hitting stores April 26th as planned. That's after early users reported defective hinges and broken screens. Samsung said Galaxy Fold needs further improvements. The company also reportedly postponed the launch events in Hong Kong and Shanghai over the weekend. Samsung had listed the phone tablet for nearly $2,000. The company says that it plans to announce a new release date in the next few weeks. That's all for the Global Report tonight, and that's actually all for me for the rest of forever. I'm graduating. Thank you so much, you guys at HNS, for giving me this opportunity. One of my colleagues, who I trust and love, Carly Van Cleef, will be taking over for me next semester, and I hope you guys join her then. Now back to you, Courtney and Amelia.
Thank you so much, Larmy. Before we leave, we want you to know that Amelia and I are also seniors and graduating, which means it's time for a new news director to step up.
Please help us welcome Kendall Yankowski
and Katrina Nickel. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, I'm so excited. I've been in IUS-TV since my freshman year, so now going into my senior year as news director, or co-news director, is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, Katrina is actually abroad in Germany right now, and we'll be back to co-direct with Kendall in the fall.
Yep.
I bless you, because you're going to do a great job, and I'm so excited to see
I will miss you. I'll miss you as my co-host for Woo, but I'll still be doing that next year as well.
Yeah, she's going to do both. I'm very excited to see what both of you come up with. I'm excited to watch next year. We won't be too far.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kendall. Best of luck to you and Katrina. That's all we have for you this week. For more campus and local news, visit our website at iustv.com and like us on social media and like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at IUSTV News.
From all of us here at IUS-TV, thank you for watching, enjoy your summers, and best of luck to the 2019 graduates. We'll see you next fall.